So in this episode, I want to have this intimate relationship between your destiny chart and your luck pillar explained so clearly, so there is no confusion anymore. Now, I want you to think of your destiny chart as this vehicle you were given, you were issued the moment you were born. So the universe is giving you a car, but the catch is you can't choose. And your luck pillar, in Chinese, we call this yun. Your 10-year luck cycle is the road you are traveling on. Welcome to Dripping Water, Pierces Stone, a podcast for seekers and intuitives to relax, receive, and remember the ancient wisdom. Like a water shaping stone, where gentle power, quiet strength can lead to deep transformation. I am Grace New, intuitive guide and feng shui master. Let's begin. Welcome back to Dripping Water, Pierces Stone. I guess the June's energy has pushed the young fire horse year to its peak. So this is where most of us is feeling it. The young fire horse also holds the peak of the entire feng shui period 9. So this gives you a perspective where we are at the peak of the peak. We're going through this pure young fire energy that is revealing so many new things for us. For example, fire not only represents the consciousness, but also stress. It forces a reaction. We likely to feel that we're being consumed by certain circumstance. Maybe in other time, they will be easily just go through us and we easily get over things. But during this intense fire energy, it's on our mind. Some of you may even exhibit physical symptoms such as high blood pressure, heart issues, palpitations, and the feeling of under such an intense pressure, something is about to give. And the second thing I want to mention is quite interesting, is the fragmentation. Fire does not just burn, it shatters. It breaks things into small pieces. It cracks, and it reduces the whole thing into embers, ash, floating small pieces. Think about it. Many of us feel really scattered. It feels like there's millions of things happening in our life. And we only have this, a bucket of water, which we find that the reserve is nowhere near that we can put out this fire. This bucket of water doesn't go very far. It creates this fragmentation where our energy feels being melted. This is where they describe a person who is under intense stress is melt down. Another thing that this fire energy really reminds me, one of the key things of this entire period 9 is illusion, the deception and the vision, where things can seem really, really beautiful. Fire represents beauty, but at times we really need to slow down. This is where, particularly in the fire age, we need to slow down because we can't just see things as it is. It can be illusion. It is beautiful outside, but it's hollow. It doesn't have the strong foundation, right? Fire dances, it shimmers and dances. So it creates this heat mirage and tricks the eyes into seeing water in the desert. It flickers and makes a solid shape look fluid and unstable. This is what fire does to us, to our energy, to our vision. Therefore, will lead to certain decision-making process that we need to really be aware of. So when we're seeking the external solutions, you will notice also the information are fragmented. Sometimes it's conflicting. And this adds a further meltdown to our already fried nervous system, right? And then without a clear guidance, without clarity, we become really trapped. And the prominent emotion of fire is panic. And this goes on and on, become a vicious circle. So this episode, I want to bring you needed cooling water, just like the name of this podcast, Dripping Water, Pierce's Stone. Dripping water can also put out the fire. And I feel at this time, what we truly need is a single quiet anchor point that we know we can return to, no matter what circumstance has been showing up for you or has been dishing up for you. And what we need is that one and only true north that can give you this trustworthy map, a reference point that you can return to when you have lost all any other bearings. It provides you this constant reorientation of your soul. Even the noise threatens you to scatter you into thousands of pieces. So in this episode, I want to have this intimate relationship between your destiny chart and your luck pillar explained so clearly, so there is no confusion anymore. Now, I want you to think of your destiny chart as this vehicle you were given, you were issued the moment you were born. So the universe is giving you a car the moment you were born. But the catch is you can't choose. So you can't choose your chassis. You can't choose the engine size, the color, the model, the fuel type. All right? Whether it is random or it is based on the karmic accumulation, I'm not sure. But I can tell you that you just get to inherit this God-given vehicle. It might be a rugged 4x4 or a sleek sedan, a sturdy cargo van, or if you get really lucky, you get to inherit an 18th century carriage. Beautiful, intricately carved, and so prestige. So this is your inheritance. This is your inherent nature. You don't get to choose it. You inherit it. And before you start to complain, I know most of us like to do this, right? Whatever we have, we don't really like it. Like I have a straight hair, I always wanted a curly hair. And I know someone who has a hair that I would die for, but they always say, "Oh, Grace, I love your straight hair." That's just us being human. So before you start to complain that why you just get a beaten up Toyota, why can't you have a posh BMW? And I want to tell you this. And because I've done thousands of charts and I've lived 55 years around the sun, so I feel I have a little platform to tell you this with absolute certainty, is the type of vehicle you inherit does not determine whether you're going to have a good life or not. All right? Because I have seen so many Ferraris, Jaguars stuck in the mud. Beautiful, powerful charts, incredible potential and engine size, but completely immobilized because they are driving on the wrong road at the wrong time. Yet I have seen people given what you might call an average chart, a modest little sedan, beaten up Toyota, nothing flashy, who are having the time of their lives, doing extraordinary things for humanity, thriving in ways that makes the Rolls-Royce owner weep with envy. So now you know that your chart is the God-given vehicle and you can't change it and you can't return it. And your luck pillar, in Chinese we call this yun, your 10-year luck cycle, is the road you are traveling on. It is the weather, the terrain, the traffic, including the direction you are driving on. So what's more important than anything else is, first, you need to know your vehicle, what type of vehicle you're driving. Not to judge it, but deeply and intimately know it without wishing it was something else. And this is your inherent nature, your physical constitutions, the color of your eyes, your hair, your natural rhythm. And once you know it, build your life around it. Honor it. Even if it was a creaky, rusty, old bicycle. There is no shame about it. And the important thing for you to remember here is there is no right or wrong vehicle here. There is no better or worse vehicle here. And there is only your vehicle. So the sooner you understand this, the sooner you will know its strength, its limitations, because you stop comparing and you stop judging what you have. And sometimes I wish I have inherited a creaky, rusty bicycle. I could have a legitimate reason to slow down, to go down to the windy, meandering country road in the south of France. The sun is shining, my hair is flowing in the wind. I cut through a lavender field and stop at the hidden village that doesn't appear on GPS. I was served espresso and fresh croissant. I can stop to pick up the wildflowers or sitting under the tree to write a poem. Who knows? And those few sentences in my journal one day might become a manuscript or become the best-selling book. Read by those BMW drivers on the Autobahn when they have a traffic jam. And this is what the mystery life can offer, your destiny can offer you when you're starting to honor the God-given vehicle you have. And this is where that we're starting to open our horizon to see speed is not the only purpose here. It is for a sports car, but it is not for a truck, not for a sedan, not for 18th century carriages, and it is certainly not for a rusty bicycle. There is a better use, there is a better purpose there. So once you know what type of vehicle you're driving, you will stop being roped into other people's stories, and you will start to flow with your true nature, and everything start to feel so much easier. Then, the next important thing is to know what type of road you are driving on. What is the road condition? What is the weather forecast? What is the terrain? Is the road bumpy, or it is a smooth ride with 4-lane freeway with no speed limit? And in Chinese, we have a saying, 命好不如运好, which means to have a better chart is not as good to have a better luck pillar. Because you can have the most magnificent vehicle in the world, but if you are driving it through a blizzard, on a mountain pass, or no visibility, you are going nowhere. Or worse, you are going off the cliff. So here are a few things that you need to know about your 10-year luck pillar. They are also mapped out the moment you were born. This map, from when you were a baby to when you, let's say, most of us will experience maximum 10-year luck pillars, right? Until you're 100. So this map, this unfolding of timing is already written the moment you were born. This is waved into the fabric of your existence. You also can't change it. So just like your vehicle, your road condition as part of the package you inherited. But the amazing and fascinating thing is you can foresee this. Just like the weather forecast, you are able to look through those 10-year luck pillars and clearly see what the road conditions are going to be, decade by decade. And once you know that, you can optimize it. You can strategize how you move through this energy. It tells you when to push, when to rest, when to take a detour, when to simply enjoy the scenery. For example, if you can see the upcoming decade, the road condition is tough. There is a blizzard. It's a time of challenges, contractions, harsh terrain, and you can prepare for it beforehand. You can find a cozy shelter. You can build a fire. You can stock up on food or resources and conserve your energy. There is no need for you to go out and fight for this wild weather. That's just unwise and stupid. Okay? And this means that you do not venture out during this time to, for example, buy properties without checking feng shui. Maybe the next person can buy property without using feng shui. Maybe they're in their best golden luck pillars. But you cannot, because I can 100% guarantee I've seen so many people who are completely oblivious during this time and then just follow trend and doing what their friends are doing, making risky investment. When they finish this most challenging decade, they ended up with nothing. Money, wealth, relationships, health, all because they made one wrong step at the wrong time. And here is the truth. Sometimes, especially during a bad 10-year luck pillar, one small error of judgment can initiate a domino effect that topples everything you have built over decades. So during a challenging luck pillar, for most people, the best strategy is to be conservative and sometimes to wait it out, to preserve what you have and to protect your wealth. This is not the time for bold moves or the grand adventures. You may think, oh, wait it out, this is so passive. But maybe this is a time to build something else, to build the quietness, to build for patience, build resilience, build character, building wealth in another way, so that when the weather clears, and it will, you are ready to move forward with strength and momentum. And here is another best kept secret that nobody tells you. For most of us, out of those 10 luck pillars, we only get to have 1 or 2, maybe 3 if you're really lucky, that are considered golden decades, golden eras. This means the road condition is perfectly suited for your type of vehicle. Things are effortless. The weather is clear. The terrain is smooth, preferably downhill. The wind is at your back. Everything you touch seems to turn to gold. And it is that rare alignment where your nature and your timing sing in perfect harmony. And the beautiful truth is, and that is all you need, 1 decade where you are fully aligned, fully ready to seize what the universe is placing in front of you. The most affluent people, the ones who truly build something substantial, usually made their fortune within a 5 to 10-year window. And that's it. Not by saving or working consistently for 40 or 50 years. That is just 1 decade, 1 single luck pillar. And for some, it's just half of the luck pillar, 5-year luck pillar. That's enough. And then they simply repeated what worked, scaled, protected, and let it compound. So now you know the secret. Where most people don't know that they're grinding for half of a century. But in fact, the best way is you struck during your window. And that is why knowing your luck pillar is so important, because you get to spot that 1 or 2 decades where you do need to speed up. And it will save you so much time and energy. It will stop you from pushing uphill when you are meant to coast. And it will motivate you from coasting when you are meant to accelerate with everything you have. And this is how the smart ones play this game. They understand their timing, they understand their season, and they don't waste their precious energy fighting against the current. They flow with it. And if you haven't listened to the episode 39, I also talked about your season, your time, based on your destiny chart. So feel free to tune into it. So this is where, when I provide guidance for my clients, the first thing I do is not look for solutions for their problems. The first thing I do is to look at their destiny chart. And more specifically, I look at which 5 or 10-year luck pillar they are currently standing in. Because that is their anchor point. That is their true north, and that is the compass. And I look at what each of the 5 or 10 years requires of them. What energy is asking to be expressed? What is the road condition they are traveling on? Whether it is pristine or challenging, and whether this is in harmony or in alignment with the God-given vehicle they inherited. What a set pattern or the condition already showing up in their chart. So there will be no guessing. Everything we arrive is based on their specific circumstance, under a specific strand of energy. Because this is where the magic happens. And when you truly understand the God-given vehicle, the road condition, and your golden timing, you'll be able to filter out the noise, the information overload. You no longer care about the comparison. You can scroll past the endless advice on social media, the conflicting opinions, the well-meaning but misaligned suggestions, because you simply know what is true for you. That's the anchor point I'm talking about. And what season you are in, and what is being asked of you. And that, my friend, is freedom, is clarity, is the peace that comes from finally having the compass. So as you go about your week, I invite you to sit with this. Think about what type of vehicle you're driving, what kind of the road conditions you are on right now, and what is the season asking of you. These questions, when answered honestly, will guide you home to yourself, to your purpose, to the life you're always meant to live. Thank you for listening. Until next time.